This video will show you how to correctly install the Generation 3 3-phase hybrid inverter. Step 1. Checking and unboxing the inverter. Check that the model and specification of the inverter's nameplate match the order specifications. Now check the unit for any signs of damage, and if any damage is found, please contact your wholesaler or supplier immediately. Step 2. Familiarise yourself with the inverter. The 3-phase Gen 3 inverter has a power flow direction indicator here and a battery connection point here. The PV input switch is here and the PV input terminals are here. The USB port is here and the communication ports are here. Here is the AC supply terminal on the right and the EPS terminal is here on the left. Here you will find the serial number of the inverter and the Wi-Fi serial number with verification code. Here is the warning signs label, and here is the specifications label. And here is the heatsink. Step 3. Selecting the right installation place. There must be 30 cm of unobstructed clearance above the inverter and 25 cm of unobstructed clearance below and to either side of the inverter. Step 4. Mounting the inverter wall bracket. Place the wall mounting bracket onto the wall, remembering to leave adequate clearance to allow for heat dissipation. Fix the mounting bracket to the wall using appropriate fixings. Whilst we do supply expansion bolts, if fitting the inverter to a non-masonry wall, you will require different wall fixings to support the full weight of the product. Step 5. Position the latches. Once the mounting bracket is in place correctly, you need to position the latches to hold the inverter securely in place like this. Step 6. Mount the inverter onto the bracket. Mount the inverter onto the bracket, ensuring you're following manual handling best practices. Step 7. Secure the inverter. Once the inverter is on the bracket, secure it in place using the latches that are behind the unit at the bottom like this. Step 8. Removing the front cover. Remove the two fixings on the bottom of the inverter with the appropriate tool. Carefully pull the bottom cover slightly outwards, then straight down to remove it. Don't pull the cover outwards or towards yourself fully, as this can damage the cover, preventing it from being replaced securely. Make sure the DC PV isolator is switched off on the GivEnergy inverter. You must install a separate AC circuit breaker or isolation for each inverter to ensure that it is adequately protected and can be safely disconnected under load. Please follow current electrical regulations for this. Step 9. Remove the AC grommet and AC cable saddle. Simply remove the rubber grommet out of the way and then unscrew and loosen the cable saddle above the rubber grommet. Step 10. Feed the AC cable through the grommet. Now feed the cables through the grommet. Strip the cables using your wire stripper so that the appropriate amount of exposed conductive material is visible on each cable. Use bootlace ferrules where possible. Step 11. The AC Wago connector. To make installation easy, remove the lever arch plug. Step 12. Connecting the AC Wago connector. In the UK, brown goes to L1, black in L2, grey in L3, blue in neutral, and lastly earth in earth. Firmly connect the cables into their respective ports, clicking the lever arch levers down. Ensure that the Wago terminal is firmly plugged into the inverter. Next, we need to ensure that phase rotation is correct on each of the grid terminals. The terminal on the far right here is for grid connection. The next one along is our emergency power supply or EPS. This is the optional backup terminal for essential circuit supply. The terminal isn't for whole home backup. You cannot mix on-grid and off-grid. Doing so will damage the inverter. Each Wago terminal is clearly labelled grid and EPS. Each connector is also labelled L1, L2, L3, neutral and earth. Step 13. Connecting the solar PV cables. There is a rotary isolator at the bottom of the inverter here. This must be in the off position before making any connections. It requires very little force to twist and click. Don't force it. Twist it anti-clockwise for off and clockwise for on. Never disconnect PV while the inverter is generating. Doing so will create an arc, and this is very dangerous. Once the PV is isolated, pull the solar PV cables through the grommet. Ensure the polarity is correct. Ensure the Wago connector and each cable is securely in place by performing a tug test. Secure the cables into the saddle. Step 14. Meter wiring. Strip the meter comms cable to the required length. Now pull the meter comms cable through the grommet. Install the meter comms cable into a push-fit green connector. Be careful not to damage the cable cores. When using Cat5 solid core cable, if it is overbent, it may break. This creates unstable and intermittent readings. Ensure you have correct polarity. The polarity on the inverter must match the polarity on the meter. Ensure that you have the correct meter model. If using the CT meter not in line, install the 3 correct direction CT clamps like this. Turn the meter on and ensure the CT clamps are monitoring the correct phases by performing a load test. Do this by using a known load against each individual phase and checking the reading on the meter. Checking that it is powered from the correct phases is important to ensure correct system performance. If monitoring third-party PV, you will require an ID2 or even ID3. These can be daisy-chained to the ID1, but ensure the correct meters are set at commissioning within remote control. As a final check, ensure that all power and communication connections are correct and secure and are within the working voltage range of the inverter. In-depth 3-phase metering is covered in a separate training module. Step 15. Reinstall grommets and cable saddles. When you are happy that all Wago or similar connectors and all cables inserted into the inverter are connected securely, reinstall the grommets and cable saddles using the Allen key. Ensure that there is some adequate cable strain relief. This concludes the Hybrid Generation 3 3-phase meter installation guide. Thank you for watching.